Hello everybody, Ainz here and welcome back to Overlord Season 4, Episode 13, the finale of this season. Got my skull, got my Shaltir with me, I'm ready. uh, yes, the finale. Uh, Hopefully, I know there's a movie in the making, but hopefully they will grace us with another season. Um, I think it's plausible because if I'm not mistaken, the light novel author is slowly heading towards the finish, towards the ending of the light novel, and studios that make anime are much more inclined to make anime based on a series that's finished and completed and done than on a series that's still in the making. It's safer, it's a safe bet, because you know if the series continues to be good or if it goes to shit. You know if you can maybe add some early hints at what's gonna happen next, the general reception, all that jazz. Meanwhile, if a series is not done, well, first of all, you can never be sure if it's gonna be done, if you're gonna have to maybe have an anime original ending, and that isn't always the greatest. So, on one hand, it's a shame that the light novel is ending eventually, sometime in the future. But on the other, I'd rather that happens than like stretch it out way beyond what it was meant to be. Some stories unfortunately fall into that trap of, oh boy, my series is successful, so I'm gonna continue writing and writing and writing and writing and writing and writing, and it slowly becomes worse and worse and worse and worse. It's better to end it while it's good. But still, I'm really hopeful for season 5, with the same amount of care, or perhaps even better, put into it. Right, that's about the season. Now, about the previous episode. In the previous episode, we started the invasion, like, in full. So far, it's been preparations, some battles, some combat. Now, Nazarick is in the capital. Now, not even the whole Nazarick, but let's be honest, the entirety of Nazarick doesn't need to be there. Probably Cocytus himself is enough to destroy the city. But we have Cocytus, who unfortunately had to fight with Brain. Brain, the stupid shit he is, didn't run. And someone told me that the street they were on is the same street where Gazef rescued Brain, is the same street where Brain met Sebas, a very significant one. And that Cocytus walked around that little bit of a street as to not destroy it, as a show of respect to a proper warrior who tried to defend such an important street to himself. Also, apparently Brain would have been dead anyway, even without Cocytus's intervention, because he used like 7 different combat techniques at once, combined with the potions, combined with everything. He reached the heights of being a hero, essentially. He entered the realm of heroes for just a second, but he did it with his true nail clipper. And I mean, that's probably the best end that a warrior can ask for. But I'm still high on copium, thinking that, hey, his body is preserved, so maybe, just maybe, he can eventually join Nazarick. Or at least be revived and put under Momon as an adventurer, or something along those lines. I don't know, maybe, maybe not, who's to say. Another thing that happened, of course, is someone who did have enough brains to fucking run. That was the Blue Rose. Lacus would have stayed, but thankfully she has friends who are willing to kill her to save her. Pretty much. Now, they didn't kill Lacus, but they did beat her up pretty fucking good. multiple poisons, toxins, spells, beat down from Gagaran, all for the sake of taking Lacus away and just running. Apparently, they are running to Evil Eye's like original to her birthplace, essentially, to the country where she hails from. So that's gonna be interesting. If we follow them in the future, I would be curious to see more of the world, because so far we are pretty much only limited to the Riestes kingdom. Soon enough, there's not gonna be anything to do in the Riestes kingdom, so we're probably gonna drop it for a while. And the Bahrut Empire. I'm gonna be interested in seeing a little bit more of the world. We got a glimpse of that in the shape of the Dwarf Kingdom, a little bit of the Lizardman lands, but ultimately nothing like major happened in any of the other countries. So hopefully that's gonna change sooner or later. Should I turn off this light? Yeah, I think that's better actually. Okay. Right. And in this episode, probably everybody dies. The king, King Ramposa, will probably be dead. Renner, well, she's going to join Nazarick. I mean, that's obvious here. I don't know what to think of Climb, though. I have no clue what's gonna be the fate of Climb. On one hand, I see him being bewitched by Renner and following her out of his own volition or not. So that's a possibility. On the other, I see him being opposed to it. I see him seeing what Renner did as a betrayal of trust, as a betrayal of everything. I perhaps even see a line of, "Oh, no, you're not Princess Renner, you're not the one who rescued me, the gentle princess, you're someone else, you're a monster, and I slay monsters." You know, something along those lines, and he's gonna have his last stand protecting King Ramposa, perhaps. And the third way, of course, is he sees what's going on. He sees that Renner is not who he thought she is. He sees the demise of his country, and he runs, and he becomes a recurring character. He goes through like a growth arc, so to speak, becomes jaded and bitter, and starts growing out a beard and stuff like that, and becomes the Dark Avenger or whatever you want to call him. Probably not. But those are like the three ways I can see it going. Either Climb goes with Renner, Climb dies, or Climb runs away with the knowledge that he got. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, first and foremost, who's to say Renner is going to reveal her true self? Right? That's not a given. That's not a given. It could very well end with King Ramposa dying, and then a little bit of a stage play, so to speak, basically putting Renner on the throne as the puppet king. Like, oh yeah, we destroyed your kingdom, we killed your king, we're satisfied with that, and we're just gonna leave you to your business. And Renner, as the last person of the royal lineage, becomes the de facto queen of the now ruined kingdom. Yeah, that's also a possibility. Anything can happen, honestly. Like, it's kind of useless to speculate when it comes to Overlord, because it's just as possible that that a character is going to be forgiven and live, as it is possible that a character is going to swallow their pride and run, as it is possible that the character is just going to die. There is no like clear preference. We have a precedent for all of those things happening, so very hard to tell what exactly is going to happen. Why the fuck is Steam screaming at me? Oh, it wants to update. No, not yet. Okay. So with that, we know what happened. We know what might happen. How about we watch it with the finale of Overlord Season 4. Here's your subs. Here's my sound. Here's my cables. and a sip of Lady Grey tea. It's great, honestly. Kind of like Earl Grey, but more orange and less bergamot. And of course, support. I'm gonna have to ask you for your support. Support my channel if you want monetarily. Patreon, Throne, links in the description. You can get early access to Madoka Magica, Symphogear, non-seasonal stuff like that. Or if you don't want to spend any money, share my content, spread the word. That also helps the channel a lot and costs you absolutely nothing. So, with all that out of the way, we can finally start watching episode 13, the finale of Overlord Season 4, where Daddy Bones kills everyone in 3, 2, 1, go. Right, Aura also headed towards the Magic Guild. And Mare isn't worried about the women and the children. He's worried about what to do so that nobody survives. Oh no, some people might survive the earthquake, but some people might run from a fire. What do I do so that nobody survives? You get this, Mare. I believe in you. Hey. Oh. I love the Gap Moe. Yeah, there's nobody here. Uh, Partly thanks to her, yes, you're correct. How exactly? Some books, a mace. Okay. Crime. You must breed my daughter. The eyes on Renner for just a split second there. I guess. I don't think Ainz would care about the crown. Like, whatsoever. Sorry for fiddling with the camera, but. I mean, everybody already got orders to not kill him, so he's safe either way. The sword stays, though. Oh, it's the samurai dude. She's not a boy, though. Ah, yeah, the little statuette. Then you will die. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Head gone. Should have helped. You really should have helped. Right, because the statuette is like a gift for Demiurge from his creator, right? I think. No, there were two statuettes. The big one that was a gift from his creator, and the smaller one that was a gift from Ainz. Both important for Demiurge, but that's a great hiding place. A random warehouse. Yeah, the palace is frozen. Renner is Elsa now. Oh, hello, Mare. Yeah, run, don't fight. Yeah, it's burning, it's freezing, it's everything at once. Burning, freezing, probably an earthquake as well. All that's needed is like a hurricane or a tornado for all four elements. Oh, hello. Yukionna. Oh, so Renner has already turned. Is that what you're telling me? She's already a succubus or an imp or something like that. Oh, that's Ramposa, killed by Renner's hand. For a moment, I was afraid that we're gonna have like an opening here. He's gonna. Oh, for a moment, I thought he's gonna withstand it, but no. Or is he? No, she did it of her own volition. Ainz really wants that sword, doesn't he? But alas, it's not an anime or a game. Things like that don't happen. He's capped at gold. Because we are all equal in death. Yeah, death is fair to all. Yeah? You don't have a shield. Is Climb really gonna die here? And Renner's not gonna do anything about it? Or is he gonna turn Climb into an undead to become Renner's servant? Something like that. No? Oh, that's a question. Oh, that's the ring that he got from Gazef. No, not gonna be that easy. Just an arm so far. Grass part. Yeah, grass part. Oh, hello, Pestonia. Is Climb still alive? Yeah. Oh, hello, Renner. You're not hiding your yandere eyes anymore. Oh, cute little wings. Okay. I expected her to be turned into like a horrific monster, but she's actually kind of fucking cute, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That's probably like the best possible outcome. I was thinking it's gonna be a genie's wish that she's gonna be turned into a monster, but a monster, a demon like, I don't know, victim, not a demon like Albedo. You know, she's like a vampire imp lady. hard to say no. Is that mind control at work, or is it genuinely climb? What could be more painful for climb than what's happening right now? Is Ainz gonna resurrect Gazev and have Climb kill him? Or... I mean, hard for me to think of a painful trial that Climb might undergo. Poison for the food? What poison, what food? Oh, damn! God damn! I knew she was capable, but not this capable. She could give, like, Demiurge and Albedo a run for their money. That can turn Climb into a demon. That's a small price to pay, isn't it? Okay, maybe let him heal a little first before you break his pelvis. Are we getting a song? We're getting a song? God damn! We're legit getting a song! Fuck, I love Renner. Okay, we're getting an explanation of how it all happened. How Demiurge came into contact with Renner, right? Window was open because that's where Demiurge escaped through. Locations acquired from Demiurge. Don't kill one person, that person being Climb. Yeah, don't harm that person. That person is with them. Climb. Yeah. So that you are easier to spot for the forces of Nazarick. Hmm. Hello, Albedo. Is he dead now? No. Au contraire. By your stupidity. This will kill you as soon as you open it. Hilma's head? No, heads of... Heads of who? His collaborators? No, his family. Yeah, his family. Yeah, you gotta keep your promises. Oh, he's still alive. That's good. And yeah, the whole kingdom was razed to the ground. A throne of rubble. That's poetic. And both the crown and the scepter at the top. Damn. Hmm. Probably. Although the Riestes kingdom is like one of the weakest nations in the world. So sure it sends a message, but destroying like the theocracy would send a more powerful message. So I'm not entirely sure. Well done ending though. That's the beginning of an end begins. What was the title? The the end card? And the end begins. And the end begins. Whew. Well, that was an episode and a half. Jesus. Uh, let's go through it again, shall we? Yeah, I love this, how this little bit of a misdirection here. Oh, there are probably a ton of people hiding. Yeah, there are women and children. And oh no, what shall I do? Not because I'm regretting having to kill them, not because I want them to escape. No, some people might live through an earthquake. That would be a problem. If I try to burn the city, people can run. How do I kill them all efficiently? I can do it! He ho! I love it. I love Mare. Uh, Yes, you can do it, Mare. I'll believe in you. And you did well. Like, honestly, there was nothing left of the city. Also, I love how the Hanzo are cheering him up as well. Everybody's going hip hip ho. I love it. Probably my second favorite scene from this episode. My favorite scene is of course the song because that came out of nowhere, but was very welcome. The Witch of the Falling Kingdom. The witch being Renner. Hmm. Renner always carrying the sword with her. Yeah, some books, a box with some, I don't know, royal jewelry, the scepter, and the crown, and some other box with something. Perhaps the royal ring that has the stamp in it to sign like official documents. Probably. Historical items of the royal family to the conqueror of our kingdom. Hmm. Hmm. On one hand, this episode as a whole is like satisfying because watching a complete destruction and complete carnage is fun, right? Like people watch Destruction Derby for a reason. Uh, there is the saying about watching a train wreck for a reason because it's enticing in a way. But on the other, the story of the kingdom is incredibly sad. Right? Ramposa was a good king. Zanak would have made an even better one. And ultimately, they were used to make an example of. No bigger reason behind that. No need for the land, no need for the resources, just you were unlucky that you were randomly selected to be made an example of. That's all there was to it. So on one hand, there's a lot of lost potential there in the Riestes kingdom because it could have been made into something bigger. Perhaps not under Ramposa, but under Zanak. Zanak would have perhaps even allied himself with Nazarick. Not even allied, but made the Riestes kingdom a vassal state. Because Zanak was smart about it. A lot of good people lost and taken out of the equation, taken out of the story for ultimately not a good reason. Like, from our viewer's perspective, right? Because from Ainz's perspective, he barely knew Ramposa, he barely knew Zanak, so those are just random people, random walking corpses on the way to his goal, right? And that makes sense. But to us, viewers who know Ramposa, who know Zanak, it's a huge loss. Not as much a loss of those characters as a loss of potential, right? I would love to see changes in Riestes kingdom under Zanak. And now I won't be able to. That kind of a loss. I would love to see the stories of Brain, of Climb, of Renner's scheming, but now I won't be able to. I would love to see Climb trying to push himself, even though he cannot, and perhaps even go to some super far ends to only become stronger, to be obsessed with strength, looking for artifacts and potions and whatnot that can aid him. But now we won't be able to see that. The loss of potential stories is what hurts me the most. Especially since Riestes Kingdom was the nation that was the most developed. We know close to nothing about Baharut Empire, and now they are also a vassal state of Nazarick, so it's pretty much completely as if it didn't exist, because it's just a part of Nazarick, so what can really happen there? Riestis was that parallel stories, right? For a long time, throughout season 2 and season 3 even, we got those parallel storylines. The storyline of Nazarick and the storyline of the Riestis kingdom. Now one of those timelines was taken out of commission. Only Nazarick remains. I'm honestly not a huge fan of that from like a purely storytelling standpoint. Not because I pity all of those people, not because I like them, because sure I did, but mostly because we are losing this like parallel storytelling. If we were to enter parallel storytelling again, they will have to introduce some other nation or some other group of people. Perhaps we can follow the adventures of Blue Rose now. Perhaps we can follow the adventures of the Godlings or Godkin or whatever they were called from the Slain Theocracy. Perhaps we can now enter the Holy Kingdom, and we can have that parallel storyline take place in the Holy Kingdom. But that's the thing; they will have to introduce those things from scratch, from zero, from absolutely fresh. And that's not as appealing as having that other storyline use established characters, established locations, right? So I'm not sure how much of a fan I am, but I trust the storytelling, and I trust that there is some grand plan for that. I trust that something is going to replace that parallel storytelling. Maybe another parallel being created. Maybe we're gonna focus more on Nazarick now. Maybe something else is going to happen. I don't know. But I hope and I trust, reluctantly, but I do trust that something is going to replace what we've lost. Take Renner and escape. Yeah, I'm not gonna. For the sake of continuing the bloodline of the Weissel family, take this child and escape. As a reward, I give you her hand. And of course, Climb denies because he feels unworthy. I will have to decline. Oh, you little shit. Renner's eyes speak volumes here. They speak volumes. Also, the fact that she was turned away from the light and her face completely engulfed by shadow. Like, that's how light works in this scene, but also highlights her yandere face. Also, cool detail, now she's wearing a red flower in her hair, and when she was turned into a demon, that was a black flower. Cool, I like it. Yeah, we're gonna hide the crown. And I liked how we, in the end, how we subtly show that hiding those items didn't do anything. It didn't help whatsoever, because Ainz got access to them. Perhaps through Renner, perhaps Renner told them where it is, or perhaps they just found them. Greater locate item and done. Or something. I fully believe that there is a spell that can locate whatever item you want. Save as many people as you can, yeah. Don't fight, you have to run, not fight. And we zoom out and we focus on the sword. Foreshadowing. Renner's been with this sword for a long while, so that was foreshadowing enough. But that little scene is really very not heavy-handed necessarily, but really drives the point home. And yeah, of course, those people are not an obstacle whatsoever, and they would have lived if not their honor, if not their ego, their honor. Ves, more like mist. Ha ha ha. Just head gone, and it was a bow. Bow created an explosion of this size. Really, like I noticed, a lot of the deaths, a lot of the destruction in in this show are caused by, and they were stubborn. Like that's how it all can be summed up. Gazev could have lived, but he was stubborn. Brain could have lived, but he was stubborn. Ramposa could have lived, but he was stubborn. Zanak could have lived, but he was stubborn. The people who weren't stubborn, like the Blue Rose, they get to live. Marky Raven, he gets to live. Renner and Climb, they get to live. Renner gets to thrive. It's not even living, it's thriving. The Lizardmen, they got to live. They got to thrive. The Dwarves, they got to live. They got to thrive. Right? The Baharut Empire. Ainz didn't do this thing with the Baharut Empire, he did it to the Riestis Kingdom, because the Baharut Empire decided to become a vassal state. They weren't stubborn. Yeah. A lot of the death and destruction in this series is, honestly, unnecessary. Didn't have to happen. But it's unnecessary not from the storytelling perspective, but from the perspective of like in-world people, in-world decisions. And yeah, everybody gets to die. Damage is gonna be super happy because he's gonna get his little Funko Pop back. That he thought he was lost, but no, it was stored safely, securely. His Funko Pop is safe. And yeah, I love Mare. I love Mare. It'll be dangerous if you stand here. I'm going to destroy this area first, and you might accidentally get involved in the destruction, so could you run? I really don't want to hurt you. I adore this Gapmoe in Mare. From the first scene with Hilda and surrendering her kneecaps, through the first scene, opening scene of this episode, through this scene, Mare is... I need to get myself a scroll of Mare is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, thankfully he listened. It's burning, it's freezing, it's everything, my dude. It's everything, everywhere, all at once. The entire castle. I wanted to say palace and castle at the same time. The entire castle is frozen, not inside though. Because the inside is a stage for us. Also, this line, come in last human in this palace. That would imply that Renner has already turned by now, but we don't really see that, do we? Yeah, everybody's here, the whole gang is around. Are her fingernails a little sharper now? It's hard to tell, probably not. Yeah, I don't think she's turned yet. And yeah, she was forced to kill King Ramposa with her bare hands. Well, shouldn't have carried that sword around everywhere with you. Yeah, of course, prostrate yourself. For a moment, I thought that that Climb is gonna have that moment of like sheer determination, blood streaming from his eyes, his teeth shattering with how hard he clenches his jaw, but he manages to withstand the power of damage and just raise on like his knee, not completely prostrated, but not completely standing up, but still. But no, Climb really is capped at gold. He really has no talent. He doesn't have some hidden power within him. It would have been expected of him to be the hero here, to be the one with a hidden power, to be the protagonist, but he is not. We are told that explicitly, but it's hard to believe because Climb checks all of the boxes. But turns out everybody was speaking the truth. Climb is capped at gold. It's a subversion through not using a subversion. Right? Because a subversion would be that, oh, you thought he was weak, but no, he has a hidden power. But we are subverting the expectation of the subversion by showing that he doesn't, in fact, have a hidden power. One-on-one combat. That's a cool fight, by the by. Some cool shots, cool animation. Climb was extremely fucking stupid by throwing away his sword. His sword can actually damage Ainz, but he chose to throw a punch instead. Man, that hurt him more than it hurt Ainz. Because, of course, because Daddy Bones has like 500 defense. Yeah, your rage would call for the hidden power within you in order to cut me down. But this is reality. It's not some anime, kid. You can't Naruto run around and create a Kamehameha. You have no special talent or power. Yeah, the world is despair. Some are born wealthy, some are born into misery. Some live a blessed life, some live a cursed life. But death is fair to all. We all turn to dust eventually. We all return to the earth. Yeah. I mean, he speaks the truth. He's the most fair ruler of them all. He will grant you death. Whether you are rich or you are poor, you all get the same gift. The gift of death. Mimir says the Overlord of Death is the only absolutely fair thing in this unfair world. True! He's not incorrect. I see there's eyes, the same eyes that Gazev had, I'm assuming. Sheer determination. Also, a little thing, but this little bob of his head, little down, little up, very small thing, but really adds some dynamicism to the scene that's otherwise just a talking head. Very often in anime you see a completely talking head, right? Just this shot with just the mouth moving, but here they are going the extra mile and adding some actual movement to the head itself. Appreciate it. It is a sword that may be able to kill me. And yeah, what answer will make you suffer the most? I love this line. Not answering at all will have the best effect. Yeah, because if Ainz says that, yeah, he will kill Renner, then maybe at least she will be granted a swift death. If he says that that she's going to live, then she's probably not going to be freed, but maybe she will be. What will await her? Is she gonna be given to Kyofuku? Is she gonna be tortured before dying, right? There is no answer, so all the answers, all the possibilities are fighting in his head. So yeah, that will have the best effect indeed. Again, for a moment, when those swords clashed and stuck together for a moment, I thought, again, that there might actually be some hidden power. That maybe this Climb's sword is gonna start cutting into Ainz's sword or something. But no. Again, Climb has no talent. A great fight scene, by the by. Ability release through the ring. No, this scene was when I thought that it's going to cut through Ainz's weapon, but just a ring with ability release is not enough. I gotta give props to Climb though for his gamer instincts. He sees a shiny red spot on an enemy, he attacks the shiny red spot. Must be a weak point after all. You gotta give props for that. I wonder if that orb is actually Ainz's weak spot. I don't think it is. I think it's just an aesthetic choice. But it certainly does seem like a weak spot. But alas, the thing with humans is that everywhere is a weak spot. Wherever you hit, they bleed and they hurt. So you don't have to aim in any particular spot, just swing your sword and you're probably gonna hit a vital. Can Razor Edge destroy world items? That would be an interesting idea to experiment with. Interesting. Interesting that this sword is so important and so powerful, seemingly, that Ainz entertains the thought of it possibly being able to destroy world items. I wonder if it's gonna become relevant in the end. I wonder... Just a random thought, completely out of my ass. I doubt it's gonna happen. But I wonder if the ending to this series might be that the good really wins. Another set of 8 heroes appears or is born of this land, and they do manage to destroy Nazarick and kill Ainz with Razor Edge. That would be interesting, and that would be a hell of a lot of foreshadowing. But I doubt that's gonna happen. There would be ginormous backlash if the author killed off all of the main characters with some complete randos. Because by now, if there really was someone that would be able to kill Ainz, they would have to be complete randos. It would be a different thing if, right from the very get-go, we had like 2 parallel stories. The story of Ainz, the story of good, the story of evil, Ainz, and the story of some group of heroes, for example, who are training, traveling the world, getting into skirmishes with Ainz every now and then, maybe managing to, I don't know, wound Cocytus, to show them as an actual threat, and to show them as the other group. Not necessarily better, not necessarily the ones we would cheer for, but both sides, both groups, Nazarick and those theoretical heroes, as 2 groups that we can cheer for. Whoever wins, we're good with that. Some are fans of Nazarick, some are fans of heroes, but ultimately both are good. But nothing like that happened. There isn't anybody like foreshadowed from the very beginning that might be able to stand up to Ainz. Maybe Tsa, but that's pushing it. Maybe the Godkin, but I don't think so. Yeah, so no, I don't think it's gonna end this way, but it's sometimes fun to entertain that thought. So I'll take my time to think about it after killing you. Anyway, just the grass part. Although Climb is correct here. To think that the Sorcerer King would use magic on someone like me, I must be worthy. I'm worthy of the Sorcerer King using magic on me. He's a magic caster and he's been fighting me with swords, which is not his forte, so that shows utter contempt. But using magic, Now we're fighting as equals. I love the animation here. How uneven his run is because of his arm just flailing around, being pretty much chopped off and just held together by armor. He's hurt, he's battered, he's bleeding, he's running, and now he's having a heart attack. Just like that. But of course he's alive. We can't have him die. He's the gift for Renner. He's her prize. Yeah, also I love the slow reveal of Renner. Now she looks mostly normal. Nothing odd about her. But now, oh, a black flower. She didn't have a black flower. She had a little bit of a hairband and a red flower. Now she has a black one. Something must have changed. Is she taken hostage? Is she a prisoner? Oh, wings. Oh, wings. Oh, sharp nails. Oh, cute little tiny fangs. She's a demon. Yeah. I like how she is still distinctly Renner, though. Her eyes, her color, her hair. Ultimately, not much has changed in her appearance. She's a little bit more of a goth now. She's going through a phase. She's been turned into a demon. Yeah, the realization on Climb. Yeah, she's a demon now. And I love how everything is in here is so extremely and distinctly goth. Renner is full on goth. The bed is goth. Everything here is goth. I love it. I love the aesthetic. Yeah, the realization that, well, not full realization, but rather the belief that, oh no, Princess Renner was turned into a demon against her own will, and I was powerless to stop it. Right? That kind of a feeling. While you're still alive. Before I answer, Climb. Yeah, I've turned into a demon and will now live for all eternity. I'd be so lonely by myself. Will he become a demon for me? Of course he will. He will do everything for Renner. That's Climb. And even more so now. I need to give some assistance to my cat so she can get down from the windowsill. Let me answer you now. Yeah, I pledged my allegiance to the Sorcerer King in exchange for your resurrection. Now you can see her tail. Yeah, in exchange for your resurrection. That's another big hit to Climb. Yeah, because now he not only pities Renner that she was turned into a demon, but now he's also indebted. For my sake, lowly me, who would be ready to give up my life for Princess Renner, Princess Renner gave up her humanity for my sake. Right? It's like 17 layers of emotional damage. He was saved by Renner once, he was saved by Renner again. First time Renner was met with criticism, and that hurt Climb. That, oh, Renner has taken a stray from the streets. How does that look like? That the princess takes in an orphan, right? And that was eating at him. That's why he was trying to grow strong, so that he can be worthy of her. And now she sacrificed her humanity, her very humanity, for his sake. And he didn't manage to save her once. She saved him on multiple occasions, but he was powerless to do anything. That's gotta hurt. And yeah, will you pledge your allegiance? Yes. Of course he will. This is an interesting line. I'm sure that Sorcerer King will test your allegiance in some way. It will surely be painful for you. I wonder what could be, at this point, genuinely, what could be more painful for Climb right now? Kill the king with your own hand? Well, king is already dead. Kill your mentor, Gazev Stronov, with your own hand? Gazev is already dead. Kill Brain Anglas with your own hand? Brain is already dead. There's nobody in this world left that Climb would care for. There's nobody but Renner who he would have emotions for. Right? A test would be kill Renner, but Renner is much more important than him, so of course Nazarick won't allow Renner to die. So what could be that test that's supposedly so painful for him? Yeah, let's talk about such things later. Take your time to rest before I come again and break your pelvis. Jesus, Renner, you insatiable... I love her dress though. I genuinely do. I love this this type of a dress that clings directly to the body. That's like very tight, but flares out at the bottom. I don't know what's it called, but I love it. It restricts her movements a lot because I can't imagine you can like swing your legs particularly far in a cloth like that, but she doesn't need to be battle ready. She probably has like a demonic armor at the ready should she have to go into battle, but she's not a combatant. She's the schemer. She's not a Cocytus. She's a demiurge. That's the vibe I'm getting here. Charade in the throne room. 90% of the plan used to destroy this kingdom was suggested by you. Honestly, that puts Renner, when it comes to scheming, when it comes to mind games, it puts her like on the level of Demiurge and Albedo. Genuinely. It's scary how powerful and demonic she was even as a human. That while she was a human, a decision was made that she will be beneficial for Nazarick. That even as a human, we want her. And now that she's been turned into a demon, I fully believe that someone told me, I think in the comments under like one of the previous videos, someone mentioned that she's a candidate for like a floor guardian, and I absolutely believe it. I absolutely do. She might not have like physical strength, although we don't know that. We don't know to what extent does the weird changing cube change you actually. Does it just change your race? Does it affect your level? Like, I can't imagine Renner being more than level 10 when she was a princess. So now that she's been turned into a demon, she's probably also level 10. So just about above the homunculi and below the maids. So I'm not sure of the full extent of the change. Because mentally and like when it comes to strategies and playing games and whatnot, she might very well be a floor guardian, but she wouldn't be able to like defend a proper raid the way Shaltir or Cocytus or even Albedo might be able to. Although again, I'm not sure of that. I don't know the extent of change. We are well aware. Yeah, I went German for a moment. We are well aware of your capabilities. I hope you continue to support Nazarick by working diligently as my subordinate. Direct? Is she a direct subordinate of Albedo? Because if she is a direct subordinate of Albedo, that would actually put her on even ground with the rest of Floor Guardians. Because Albedo is the overseer of Floor Guardians, so technically all the other Floor Guardians are her direct subordinates. For the next couple of thousand years in advance, another Seed of the Fallen. For a moment here, I thought that Renner, she's going to open her eyes and it's gonna be the crazed Yandere eyes and she's gonna smile. I was a double agent all along. Now that I have the power of demon, I will destroy Nazarick from within, so that only Climb and I are the last remaining humans, the last remaining living beings in the world, or, something like that, that she will try to play Nazarick dirty now that she got what she wanted. But no. No, it's a very, very vibrating exhale. Great detail on like the VA, the voice actress that gives Renner her voice, that vibrating, strenuous exhale. I'll be able to get past the last hurdle. The last hurdle being Climb turning into a demon. I never expected His Majesty to come personally and act out such a silly role. I wonder why, also. Initially, I fully expected it to be Pandora's actor. Genuinely. But no, it was actual Ainz. Interesting why he did that. I was able to realize my dream by merely selling out a single kingdom. That's no prize at all. Let's spend eternity together in happiness. You chained to a radiator, me jumping on your dick. That's Renner's idea of happiness, I'm assuming. Yeah, of course. First, we should exchange our first time together today. Or should we treasure our first time a bit more? Let him rest, lady. Let him heal fully. He can't even speak yet. It's like Darius when he was resurrected. It's gonna take time until he gets full strength. Let him rest, if for no other reason than to get better performance out of him. You don't want to be shagging with someone who's half a corpse. The animation here and the song really took me, Jesus, it really took me by surprise. Nothing in Overlord so far has been as surprising as this song. Nothing. I think it's rotoscoped. I'm not sure, but it seems rotoscoped. Don't have anything against rotoscoping, like, make no mistake, rotoscoping is an amazing technique. I'd rather studios use live actors and rotoscoping, or CG models and rotoscoping, than if they were to use plain CG. Some great animation on her. Her chin is a little too large in some of those shots, like, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's, again, probably due to rotoscoping. And the dance, the movement. There's like a whole choreography to this dance. It's not just her walking around and twirling and singing. There's a whole thing with her arms and... God damn. I know where the budget of seasons 2 and 3 went. It went towards this scene. Rotating camera, not an easy shot to make. If there's one criticism of Renner's design right now that I would have, is it's very plain. It's just black with some puffy elements and a rose in her hair, and not much more than that. I really think she would have benefited from like a necklace and a couple of bracelets, or some sort of I don't know, a couple of chains of pearls or something on her hip, or a hairband, or a little tiny tiara to signify that she was a princess. You know, something like that. Something to break this uniform blackness of her dress and the uniform yellowness of her hair a little. I really think she would have benefited from just a smidge more detail. Not trying to make her like overly designed, like, I don't know, Lacus or whoever else, but just a smidge more. And yeah, that's a beautiful love song, isn't it? To stand upon the stage of corpses, we only need each other. Find me a girl that will sing me a serenade like this. Let's go mad with the light and the dance. This, I'm not a huge fan of. Those flashbacks. Because we are now... Yeah, we're now 18 minutes in. There's like 5 more minutes left. And this takes a solid couple of minutes. We could have spent that time better, I have a feeling. But we didn't. Those scenes are especially bad that we aren't shown any new footage. Right? We are shown Demuge here, and he flies away, and then we are shown that Renner closes a window, and we're supposed to put 2 and 2 together, that he flew there and landed on the balcony, and now Renner is closing the balcony, so she came in contact with Demuge. I'm really missing a moment where he actually appears on that balcony. Right? Just a single cut, just a single scene that shows, like, in explicit terms what happened. Or maybe gives her the map, right? Something like that, something to tie those scenes together fully. Here, show the image of Climb, like actually in one of the scenes. Because sure, we are tying them together, and it takes us like a solid 2 minutes, as I mentioned. But it's kind of a very weird middle ground. Because on one hand, they are showing us those scenes to like direct the viewer's attention at that, to show them that if you didn't figure it out yet, here's what happened. But at the same time, they aren't talking about it in explicit terms. So it's kind of beating around the bush still. Whoever figured it out earlier, those scenes are pretty much useless. Whoever didn't figure it out earlier, chances are they're not gonna figure it out without being explicitly told what happened. So those flashbacks feel very weird to me, and they just take up some time that could have been spent better. He's drunk. And yeah, he's no longer necessary. His family is no longer necessary. He is no longer necessary. How dare you soil my good name with your actions? I don't know what that's referring to. But apparently Albedo is angry. And he dies in not an easy and painless way for sure. This I adore. I love it. It's a single clear road among the rubble that leads you to the Rubble Throne. Fuck the Iron Throne. This bears so much more significance. A throne of rubble. This is the remains of your kingdom. This is the symbols of your kingdom. A mere decoration now. And at the same time, that's important. We know that thrones are like important to the floor guardians and to Ainz. To Ainz perhaps even less, but to the floor guardians, it shows respect. Right? The ruins of your country are worthy of being my throne. That's one more thing I'm getting from this scene. Because, like, a regular chair or even like something made of rare bones isn't necessarily worthy of being a throne. A proper throne at a Nazarick is, because it's part of Nazarick. The throne of this kingdom, that's worth sitting on. A floor guardian is worth sitting on. It's a worthy throne. Rubble remains of a country is also a worthy throne. I love it. I absolutely adore this throne. I'm glad Marky Raven is alive, and I'm assuming those are other people who also aligned themselves with Nazarick before the whole battle started. I should reward you for your travels. Yeah, and he's not even sitting on like a chair, just built around with some rubble. No, the chairs, these sofas are just thrown around. He's sitting directly on pieces of rock, of pieces of concrete, or whatever else they used to build those places. I love it. It's like wasting time with useless chatter, so let's descend quickly. Yeah, we're gonna destroy the remaining noble thieves and return home. And you just continue business as usual. There may be transfers, but things have yet to be decided. I wonder if transfers are like a foreshadowing to perhaps rebuilding this kingdom, but under Nazarick's rule. Meaning that the domains of like Marky Raven and all those other marquises are going to expand into the destroyed sections of the country, and slowly they will be reclaimed, but under Nazarick's banner. I wonder if that's the plan. Isn't that right, Albedo? That implies that there is some plan already created, and that plan might involve some transfers. We don't know what that plan is, but there is a plan. Yeah, govern using the same laws until changes are announced. The kingdom has thus completely fallen. Do you think everyone will now understand the foolishness of going against me? On one hand, yes. Ainz completely razed a whole country without breaking a sweat. On the other, Riestis' kingdom is the weakest one. Slain Theocracy, perhaps, might still have some fire in them, some hope. That, okay, Riestis' kingdom has fallen, but they didn't really even have like heroes or anything. We have a dragon, we have the Godkin, we have so much powerful items, we have world items, we have powerful mages. We might be able to actually fight something out, right? So on one hand, sure, it sends a message. On the other, depends on how smart the other countries are. Will be known by many for all eternity. Probably. I adore this throne. I'm quite satisfied with this result. I honestly think that the time spent for flashbacks could have been better spent for the reactions of of Elnix, of whoever rules the theocracy, whoever rules the Holy Kingdom, their reactions to the news of the Riestis being razed to the ground. Or a little bit of time spent at Nazarick making future plans, or, something. Because this ending feels good. It's a worthy ending, but at the same time feels very open, right? It feels like an ending, but at the same time not. Is the vibe I'm getting? Kind of hard to put it into words. I don't mind it. Like, make no mistake, it's a good ending, but I don't know. And the end begins. I'm hoping that this is a foreshadowing of future seasons. That and the end begins, meaning we are now entering the end game of Overlord. Ainz will now try to end the world, or something along those lines. That's it. That was the finale of Overlord Season 4. And what a finale was that! What a finale it was! From the combat scenes to Renner's song and dance, some moments existed where characters were very like low fidelity, but I'm willing to forgive that because all in all, you can see a lot of effort, a lot of care, a lot of work put into this episode, for sure. It really is a highlight of the season. Not just like storytelling wise, because it's a finale, it has to be a highlight of the season, but also when it comes to production quality. The combat, as I said, the song, the dance, some of the shots that had an additional layer of bloom, additional bits of detail. All of that was just amazing. I love this episode. I really, truly, honestly did. Um, what else should I say about it? Um, it still gives me ambivalent feelings, despite me loving how it went out, how it transpired. I still pity, and I still don't like the fact that so many potential great stories were cut, were just taken from us. But then again, it's fairly often a case. Overlord is very much about nobody but Nazarick people matter, nothing but Nazarick matters, right? A super huge big dick hero appears and they get clapped in a split second. For example, right? There's no. They can be hyped, we can even start to like them, but they are inconsequential. The country, we started liking it, I did, at least, but it turned out to be inconsequential. Just a stepping stone, really, for Nazarick. And from Nazarick's perspective, it all makes sense. But from the perspective of a viewer, as I mentioned before, I don't like the fact that I won't be able to see Riestes under Xanax's rule. I don't like the fact that I won't be able to see climb seeking power. I don't like the fact that I won't be able to see Brain growing into perhaps a hero for more than a split second. I didn't like the fact that Beef Stroganoff gave away his life for nothing. There are things that I don't like, sure, because I get used to them, I get attached to them. That's not the perspective that Ainz has. For Ainz, all of those people are inconsequential. Besides Zanak, he did grow to like Zanak. He did promise to give him a swift death. Alas, it wasn't meant to be. And at the same time, I have to wonder, again, as I mentioned, where are the future stories going to take us? Is it going to be purely focused on Nazarick? Are we going to follow the Blue Rose, perhaps, for a moment, the The parallel storytelling won't be Riestes Nazarick, it will be Blue Rose Nazarick. Are we going to introduce new characters from a new country? Are we going to focus on the Baharut Empire more? Are we going to focus on the Slain Theocracy more? Or where is it going to take us? The one and only constant that remains is Nazarick, and I don't predict that changing. But what's going to allow us to break apart the constantness of Nazarick? One of the very important things in Overlord so far was that Nazarick was like a force of nature. The stories that were told, the most enticing and important stories, weren't the stories from Nazarick. They were the stories of Brain and him growing back into the hero that he was. The story of Climb and his pursuit of power. The story of Blue Rose, the story of Zanak and his struggles with the crown, the story of the divide at Riestes' kingdom between the nobles and the royals, the stories of Carne Village, the stories of the Lizardmen, the stories of, all those other people that we've met so far. Those were the main drive. Nazarick was in the background, always looming, always somewhere there and influencing the world. But we were shown their direct influence, but also the influence of Nazarick was shown mostly through those other stories, right? You would see some other character go somewhere and there's a hole in the ground, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the hole in the ground that Cocytus created in season 7, episode 8, right? That was the kind of storytelling. Now we are focusing on Nazarick a lot. On one hand, I like it because I like the people of Nazarick, I like the scheming, I like the planning, sure. But on the other, it kind of takes away the most enticing, to me at least, the most enticing bit of the main character not really being the main character. The main character being a force of nature working from the shadows and influencing the stories of the people who we actually follow. That seems to be changing. I'm not yet sure how much of a fan I am of that. And how heavy-handed are we gonna go with that? In this season, in season 4, pretty much everything was to do with Nazarick. We didn't really get many moments of, I don't know, Blue Rose going for a mission, or Climb training, or some other adventurers going out. It was all and everything Ainz and Nazarick. I wonder if that's going to continue, or are we going to go back a little? We're going to chill out a little with that, and we're going to go back to the stories of the people from this world and how their lives are influenced by Nazarick's existence. I don't know. I know for sure that I'm gonna be waiting with bated breath for the future season. I know that the movie doesn't cover like future events past season 4. It rather covers, I think, a volume of the light novel that happened somewhere between the War arc and the Dwarven Kingdom arc, something thereabouts. So, I mean, it's gonna be fun to see that, make no mistake. But I kind of want to see the continuation from here. I want to see season 5, season 6, season 7, however many seasons they have in them. And I really hope that they are going to keep increasing the amount of care, the amount of effort, the amount of work they put into it, and that the series is only going to continue getting better and better and better, and we're not gonna get another Goblin army. That's my biggest hope here. I hope that season 4 had an amazingly positive reception overseas in Japan, and I hope that this will prompt them to make season 5 an even better spectacle. Uh, anything else that comes to mind? Yeah, one more thing when it comes to future seasons, what I want to see. I want to see still some focus on Nazarick, sure, but focus on the day-to-day lives. I want to see the dwarves being integrated in into Nazarick, opening their shops. I want to see the capital being revitalized slowly but surely. People going out of their homes and walking down the streets instead of shutting themselves off at their homes and never going out. Right? I want to see those world building elements, nation building elements, instead of just nation destroying ones. I kinda want to see the return to the themes of seasons 1 and 2. What I mean by that is that, again, Nazarick is somewhere in the background and we don't as much focus on Ainz, but we focus on, I don't know, Shaltyr's attempts to make the Quokka mine some resources for Nazarick. I want to see Renner's maybe attempts to revitalize the city, the capital of the Sorcerer Kingdom, to have people go out in the streets and to start trade and all that jazz. I want to see Cucutus and the Lizardmen, and I want to see them thrive. I want to go back to Carne Village. I want to see what Nefiria and Enery are up to. And at the same time, I want that other parallel story of building up someone, some group, maybe Blue Rose, maybe Slain Theocracy, maybe someone else entirely, maybe Lacus's uncle and Tsa, maybe them building up something, having escaped to Slain Theocracy or to Holy Kingdom or somewhere else. They're trying to build up a resistance force against Ainz. Only for that to be built up in season like 5 and 6 and maybe 7, and then come crushing down in season 8. The way here we kept building up the Reistis Kingdom, Brain, Gazef, Climb, Renner, and it all came crushing down in this season. I want to see us go back to kinda sorta square one and start going through the motions again. Because that going through the motions, that journey, is more enticing to me right now than the destination. Again, don't get me wrong, I loved season 4, but I loved fumbling around with the Black Swords a little bit more. I loved Sebas's adventures in the capital a little bit more. I loved the Lizardman arc, which wasn't to everyone's tastes, but I genuinely did enjoy it. I liked the adventures in the Dwarven Kingdom from this season alone. I did like all of that stuff more than the final battle, final war against the kingdom and the kingdom's destruction. So I hope again we're going back to building up some threats to Nazarick, potential threats, only for all of that to come crashing down eventually. But then again, I don't know what's going to happen, I can only hope. Which is more than the inhabitants of this world can have. There is no hope for them. I'm out of tea and my throat is dry, so it's time to end it. Yeah, maybe you have something to add, and if so, tell me in the comments down below. What did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories for the future? No spoilers, please, on the off chance that Season 5 happens. And even if it doesn't happen, I want to read the manga unspoiled. I want to read the light novels eventually unspoiled, so please no spoilers. If you do want to talk spoilers, my Discord here, also link in the description, you can join it and talk spoilers in the Overlord channel, because you can use spoiler tags there. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of Overlord the movie whenever it comes out, of Madoka Magica, of Symphogear. We're gonna be watching the Symphogear concert this week, this Sunday. I'm gonna upload a video talking about that soon. So you might want to stick around for that. Also, Hataraku Mausama Season 2 is something that I have to finish eventually. What else is there? Yofuka no Uta, the finale, is still ahead of us, so we're gonna have to watch that eventually. And future seasonal stuff that I'm gonna be watching. Perhaps Arknight, perhaps Chainsaw Man, we'll see. I'm gonna stream myself looking at the anime that will be coming out next season and picking and choosing what I'm gonna watch. So you might want to stay subscribed to be notified of that as well. You can support the channel if you want, monetarily or not. Monetarily on Patreon or Throne, links in the description down below. On Patreon for $10 a month to get early access to non-seasonals like Madoka, like Symphogear, like whatever comes next. And for just $1 you get a role on my Discord, and you also get a place in the credits. So that's my token of appreciation for you. On Throne you can pitch in directly towards my purchase of better lighting, better camera, stuff like that. And if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, share my content, spread the word. It really does help the channel a lot when you share my stuff with your friends, family, and complete strangers as well. Because the more people you bring to the channel, the bigger the channel grows. And that's always good when the growth is natural and organic like that. And with all that out of the way, the finale done, I'm gonna miss Overlord. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one, whatever it might be. Cheers. Here's the credits I mentioned. You can be one of those people, and you don't need to sell your soul to Nazarick to do that.